Well, hello gang. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to more of my American Cancer Society 300-mile challenge for the month of August. It's been a while since I've put a video up. It's just been issue after issue the last week, which has kept me from one, writing, two, recording. But yeah, we're to the point where I'm now 18 miles from completing my journey. So by the end of today's ride, this should be the final one. I know you're thinking, well, how are you within 18 miles? You haven't put a video up in over a week. Yeah, I've had some issues that have hindered my recordings, but I have been out on the bike a few times riding, accumulating a little bit of mileage, and just not able to post video of it. So today's ride will be the last hoorah for the August challenge, and it'll be a sort of summary of the last week, explaining, you know, why there's been no videos, as well as what's been going on with my riding. And to be honest, I haven't ridden but 3 times in the last week. You know, my last video, I broke the cardinal sin of basically saying, oh, you know, things are going so well, I'll be done here in a couple of days. By Thursday, I'll be complete with this whole challenge. And then the cycling gods went, oh, really? Not if we have anything to say about that. And they had something to say about it. So I finished up Tuesday's ride, which was a long road ride. And in that video, I even mentioned about debris on the side of the road, nails and stuff like that. So I get home, thought it was a great ride, no big issue. I rode, finished up the ride. The next day, got up. I had some things I needed to do, so I took a day off. That was Wednesday. Went by my local bike shop, talked to them about tire inner tubes. What were good inner tubes? What they recommended, because I think even in the video I mentioned I need to get a tire inner tube and throw it on the bike in case I have issues and need to do some things, you know, on the road. At least even a patch kit, you know. Well, went home, did a little online shopping, looking at tire kits and stuff. Got up Thursday morning to take a bike ride, and I had a flat tire. Not a lick of air in it. The bead had come undone on the tire and everything, so no ride for me on Thursday. A little disappointing. So went inside and immediately ordered a tire inner tube kit, and I even ordered tire liners to put inside to hopefully prevent a puncture in the future. Though I'm not sure that they will prevent anything. We'll see. But I picked up somebody's starfish earring through not the sidewall, but where the sidewall and the tread come together. And that had punctured the inner tube and caused it to go flat. And I was just kind of like, if I'm gonna go through the trouble of taking off the rear tire, I'm gonna fix it right, slap it back on, and I'll wait a couple of days, because I ordered online, 2-day shipping. On Thursday, it was supposed to be here on Saturday. So, and it was everything I would need. It had the inner tubes, I bought the liners. There was a couple of spoons that were gonna come with it so I could, break the tire down and everything. So, no big deal, right? And I'll just wait until Saturday, and I would have Saturday and Sunday to ride and finish up my miles, because at that point I only had like 48 miles that I needed to do, something like that. It wasn't a lot, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Plus, I had a spare bike. I have that A-Pass or A-Pos M2 sitting in the garage that I'd never ridden. I thought, no, this is no big deal. So let's talk about the tire. I ordered it from the Amazonians and was supposed to be here on Saturday. Everything in my package that I ordered arrived on Saturday as promised, except for the tire inner tubes. Morning. The most important part of what I needed from my package did not arrive. So I go check the shipping information. Apparently it shipped on Thursday morning and then sat in a, I don't know where, it says UPS facility, but it sat there Friday, Saturday. Says it's going to be delivered on Sunday. You and I both know that ain't true, especially not in a small town. Maybe in a big city, but not in a small town. UPS ain't delivering. So it sat there Sunday. So on Monday, when it doesn't arrive on Monday, morning, I call UPS. Hey, what's going on with my package? Don't know. It shows that it's sitting at the facility and hasn't moved. Don't y'all usually know where your packages are? Don't know, don't really care. I mean, I really just didn't get any help from them. So, I can't see hardly anything with that sign where it's at right now, which is gonna make up my mind how I'm gonna go down through here. Good morning. I'm gonna get by, I'm not gonna hit you. Y'all have a good day. So they're like, you can put a claim in it or you can call the Amazon. So I called the Amazonians, and I got this really nice lady on the phone on Monday who tells me, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go look into this. Can I put you on hold while I go look into it? And gullible me, oh sure, go ahead. So she puts me on hold, goes and gets a cup of coffee, maybe a cupcake or something. has a snack, comes back, and in that time she's gone, she comes up with a plausible story telling me that, oh, you know what? Your package got damaged. Let me pass this guy. Morning. Hey, good morning, man. I'm gonna pass you on your left. Have a good run. Morning. So she goes, takes her little break, all in the guise of going to look for my package, comes back and says, you know what? Here's the reason your package hasn't moved from that UPS facility. Apparently it was damaged, and because it's a bike inner tube, they didn't want to risk sending you something that might have gotten punctured, so it got shipped back to the warehouse to be swapped out with a freshie, and it'll be sent right back out to you in the morning, and it'll arrive at your house on Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, that's awfully nice of you. Will I get a new tracking number? Oh no, they'll use the exact same tracking number. They'll just reprint a label and ship that right out to you. Okay, well thanks. And because you're a valued customer, I'm gonna refund the amount of this for you and it'll be free of charge. Wow, that was really nice. Hey bud, I'm gonna pass you on your left. Morning.
Oh, sorry.
No problem, man. I only told you like 10 times. Earbud disease. Hey, good morning. E-bikes are so fast. Oh, they scare me. Meanwhile, that dude's hauling ass. All right, so anyways, so back to Chick. She's gonna give me a refund for the $25 that the tire inner tubes cost. And do me a solid because I'm a valued customer. So I eat that shit up and I'm happy about it and I go on my merry way. Call my family, call my sister, tell her, haha, I got this for free. It's gonna be here on Wednesday, yay! I'm not gonna go to a local bike dealership and buy a tire at a local bike dealership and waste my time driving into town and back because the Amazonians are gonna send me a tire inner tube and it's gonna be here on Wednesday. So Tuesday goes, tracking information doesn't update on the package. Wednesday morning goes, tracking information hasn't updated on the package. Wednesday afternoon comes and goes, and guess what? I ain't got no tire tube. So I call the Amazonians again. And I get some nice Indian girl on the phone. Thank you for calling, and you know, can't hardly understand every fifth word. And I proceed to tell her my saga. And I'm very nice to her about it, very kind with her. Right up into the fact that she basically calls me a liar. She makes this comments about, well, sir, we can't go off of falsehoods. And I'm like, falsehoods? What is she talking about? Is she questioning the fact that the conversation that I had on Monday, where the woman promised my package would be delivered on Wednesday, and where she was going to give me a credit? I don't see anywhere where anyone tried to give you a credit on this, and I don't see where the package was reshipped. So your options today are to have the package reshipped to you, or you can get a refund. And I was like, okay, And as soon as I try to respond, she just starts blabbering again. And at this point, I've really had it with her because her attitude's terrible. And she's basically called me a liar. I don't see anything in the system where it shows where you talk to someone about a refund or anything on Monday. I'm like, I don't really give a flying crap about what your system says. I know I had the conversation, and since your little telephone system says all of our calls are recorded for training purposes, somebody need to go back and get that call and listen to it and train people not to lie to customers. And somebody needs to listen to this one and tell you not to call me a liar. So, anyways, she goes on, and I'm trying to have a conversation with her and explain to her that, look, everything you're telling me, somebody already told me the other day. I don't trust y'all now. If I order a replacement package, is it going to arrive on, now what, Friday, as promised? I don't know. And what about the refund? Well, I can't show that you were promised the refund, so I can't give you that. I'm like, oh, whatever. And she keeps on going, and eventually she pushes enough buttons to where I've just had it. And I tell her basically to take a flying flip, and I'll take my refund. What's up, bud? So she issues a refund, 5 to 7 business days. Yeah, which doesn't make me happy, but I get it, it's an accounting thing. So I go on with my merry way. I hang up the phone with her, and then I check my email. And in the, 20 minutes that we were on the telephone with Amazon, going through their phone system, which is absolutely horrible, and talking to her, in that time frame, Amazon sends me an update on my package telling me it's going to be delivered tomorrow, which would have been Thursday. And I'm thinking, what? Why didn't that chick tell me this? Why is it suddenly going to be delivered tomorrow? It hasn't updated for several days, and now suddenly it's going to arrive tomorrow. And yet this chick didn't tell me anything about this. Then I go to track the package to see where it's at. And the tracking information comes up and says, this order has been canceled. Reason why? Customer refused package. What? That's not the truth. So now I'm fuming mad, because if at any point little Miss India had told me that my package was on the way and would arrive the following day, I would have said, well, thank you for your excellent customer service. I appreciate you helping me with this. Have a wonderful day. But instead, I got called a liar and told my only options were to have a package reshipped or refunded. And couldn't get any other time frame of when it would arrive or anything else like that. So I call back, because now I'm hot. And God forbid the person who gets this telephone call, I'm sorry for the word that you're going to hear come out of my mouth, but you're going to get an earful. And nice dude answers the phone. Didn't have any kind of harsh accent. It was easy to understand. Very cool, very relaxed gentleman. We had a really nice conversation. I was kind of hot, but he understood why. Morning. and worked with me to try to resolve the issue. Very apologetic. Listened to what I had told him about the customer service rep on the previous telephone calls. Didn't like the fact that I was basically called a liar, and explained to me that the woman I talked to on Monday completely misrepresented their company policies, how things would be handled, and would have somebody look into the issue. Morning. And would have someone definitely pull up the recording and listen to it and reprimand the woman because I was lied to and all that good stuff, right? And at the end of the day, he's like, listen, I can't, your package has already been refunded. The best thing I can tell you to do is reorder the package. I know you don't want to do that, but reorder the package. It'll arrive on Friday. And when it arrives, message me back and I will immediately issue you a refund for the cost of the item, and we'll make this right. And additionally, since you have a membership with us, I'm going to give you your membership fees back for the next month and this month. So I get 2 months of Prime out of it. Plus I got the inner tubes for free. So, and I got all of this in writing so that I could, hold somebody accountable on Friday when my inner tubes came in and I called back to, or messaged back to get my refund, that I would actually have a way to show that, hey, I was told I could have a refund. So I got all of it in writing. And tire inner tubes arrived on Friday. I replaced them, got back to riding on Friday, and here we are. And I did message and got my refund as well, so all worked out. But it was a miserable week waiting on parts for my bike. Now to compound that, we go back in time to the Thursday, and I'm like, I guess I could bust the M2 out and go for a ride on it, seeing as I've never ridden that bike and never discharged the battery on it. I should probably take it for a bike ride. Morning. So I do. I go outside, I change the pedals on it, because I had ordered a bunch of stuff to fix it up, because my sister had already warned me that the pedals were terrible. And when I ordered a set of pedals way back when for her bike, and I ordered a second set for it. So, and when we swapped out the pedals on her bike, I saw how miserably terrible the pedals were, and so I went ahead and had a second set for mine. So I tuned it up, adjusted all the air pressures in it, swapped out the pedals, slapped on a cell phone mount, all that good stuff. The only thing, I didn't have a water bottle cage or a bag to put a water bottle in, so I had to get a bungee cord and strap a water bottle to the back of the bike. that raincoat, because by the time I got the bike ready to roll, it was late afternoon and I got ready to ride, and a thunderstorm moved into the area. And I thought, well, that's not a big deal. I'll probably be able to skip through that one. I'll take a raincoat just in case. I got down to about the golf course on Fort Morgan Road, and the bottom fell out of it. And I decided, well, I'm going to turn around and just ride back to the house, outrun this thing, and I'll come back and ride tomorrow. I never outran that storm. It waterlogged me to death. But it was a miserable ride. And the bike itself, I'm just not comfortable on it. It's completely alien to me. It's a Cadence bike, which I've had a conversation with you guys before about how much I don't like Cadence sensors, because I'm so used to this bike with its torque sensors. Good morning. You know, this bike has torque and cadence sensor on it. I tried both of them out and realized real quick that I like my torque sensor. Morning. And so I just never felt comfortable on the bike. And then the rain on top of that just made it a miserable experience. But I got like 6 miles in, right, of riding. Morning. And take it the whole damn road. Morning. So the next day, you know, I was bound and determined to put some miles in the next day, and figured, well, I only rode 6 miles. Tomorrow I'll bust the bike out. It's never really been ridden, and I'll ride all the way down Fort Morgan Road tomorrow. And even though it's uncomfortable for me to ride, I'll put in the miles. Because if I can knock out those miles, then when my tire inner tube shows up on Saturday, I'll be able to finish up this challenge. This was when I thought I was still going to get tire inner tubes on Saturday. So I get out the M tube, and it has, the meter on that thing has 5 bars for the power meter. It doesn't give you a percentage, it just shows you 5 bars. And I figured, well, I mean, 4 bars, gotta be like 80% battery, you know? Good morning. That's gotta be like 80% battery. I should be fine. I'll ride all the way down and back. Yeah. So that bike and my weight, I guess, just don't go along together. Because my sister can ride all the way through this park. Morning. Allegedly, she rides all the way through this park, does 20 miles through the park on her M1, and still has like 4 battery bars left after a long ride. Either the first battery is like 50% of the battery and the last 4 bars are the last 50%, or that bike doesn't like fat people, even though it has a 500-pound capacity. Because I got on it and I rode back to the golf course. Morning. There's a lot of people in here on Saturdays. I rode down to the golf course, got to the main entrance of the golf course, which is about 7 miles round trip. I got to it and looked down at the battery, and I started with 4 bars. I was down to 2. And I thought, I can't do this. I can't go all the way to Fort Morgan, to the end of Fort Morgan Road, and do this and still have battery left over. Morning. So I decided I needed to turn around and head back just past that entrance and rode home. And by the time I got home, I was down to 1 bar, and I have no idea how much was left on that 1 bar. I don't remember if it had changed colors on me or what, but it was not being friendly to me. So I don't know. I've talked to her. The thing is I got that bike from her, and I assumed it had been fully charged when I got it. But then also it sat in my garage for, I don't know, a month or so before I took it out. So it could have discharged a little bit of power just sitting there in my yard. I mean, I took it out a couple of times to ride around the neighborhood testing. Like, I bought a little pet trailer I told you guys about, and I'd hooked it up to the bike to pull it around and see how it would do with that bike before I hooked it to this one. And plus the colors match. It's a blue bike, it's a blue trailer. This bike is Fig, and they don't match. It's not color coordinated, but is what it is. But I don't know. Maybe the battery just had discharged enough power that maybe I only had a lot less than I assumed I had power-wise on it. Maybe one day I'll charge it all the way up and try to have a full ride on it. I don't know. It's doubtful. Because with this one fixed, I really don't care about that bike until this one breaks again, and knock on wood, I hope this thing never breaks again. Or morning. Doing all right? Good. Have a good run. The thing is, I won't be put in that situation ever again, where I'm in need of a bike and don't have one, because I don't ever plan on doing something like this ACS challenge again, to where I feel pressured to ride on a daily basis, if that makes sense. I put a lot of pressure on myself with this, just because, you know, it is what it is. I did the ACS challenge primarily because you got a cool looking little medal for it, and it was also something to shoot for, right? I wasn't really into the whole fundraiser thing that much. I just like the idea of having a challenge to shoot for the month of August, and then the nifty little medal that you would get at the end, and really never thought much about the fundraiser aspect of it. And I signed up for it with the realization going into it that I probably wouldn't raise any money, because I'm not an active Facebook kind of guy, and it's just kind of family and friends on my Facebook page, and I really didn't see where any of them would probably jump on the donation wagon. I was actually shocked that a couple of people did donate. Pretty much figured I'd just be the one donating on it. Morning. So, but man, those guys from the Cancer Society, from the fundraising aspect of it, man, they beat you up every day about make sure you do this, make sure you do this, really promote it. And then you see everybody else who's doing it, who's doing daily posts and all of this other stuff. And I really got into that whole, put a lot of pressure on myself to, one, ride every day so I got it done, because you never know what the weather's going to do down here. You know, could have been a tropical depression or something move in and you can't ride for 3 or 4 days, or even worse, a hurricane pop its head up and then you can't ride for weeks because they'd have the park closed off, or, you know, maybe trees down all over the place. You just never know what's going to happen. So it was like, I need to ride every day at the beginning of the month and put in as much effort as I possibly can to get it done. And then you've got like friends that you haven't seen in years. Are you really doing this? You're really going to ride this 300 miles in the month of August? A lot of disbelief. And it's like, you know, I'm going to show you guys. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, but the fundraising aspect in the back of my head was always kind of there nagging at me too. It's like, I need to be on this every day, making videos and posting reels and promoting it and try to make a good showing on it. And it's been more of a, you know, putting out videos for the rides and everything. I just put too much pressure on myself. So it's one of those things I'm looking forward to being done with it so that I don't have to deal with any of that anymore. And it's probably one of those things where I'll probably never do another one again, just because I don't want that pressure to need to ride every day, or the frustration of my bike being down for a week and not being able to ride. I mean, I was having withdrawal from riding the bike just because I wasn't out riding the bike. But the added pressure of, man, every day that goes by that I can't ride is another day where I'm not posting updates about me riding and getting closer to my goal, you know? And that was frustrating as well. But I finally came to peace with that, because a week went by and nobody ever questioned why I hadn't posted an update. And I realized real quick that my friends and family really didn't give a shit about the fundraiser. And didn't really care about it. Nobody once questioned, hadn't seen any kind of post from him in 5 or 6 days as to what's going on with this fundraiser and his goal. Did he give up? Did he get injured? What's happened to him? Not a one. So I kind of was like, really doesn't matter. Now, I say all that. Maybe down the road, that would change. But I would go at it completely different. First of all, I would, if this channel were to grow into something more substantial, where I had hundreds of viewers and people were watching the videos, I would make a Facebook profile specifically for this channel. And then if I did participate in a fundraiser event like that, I would be able to cross-promote it with the YouTube channel and everything, and be able to draw in more than just my limited friends and family into it. Because I would have some anonymity there, right? I would have a separation between my personal profile and the channel's profile. Like, have a business page for it and go that direction. Like, I have another YouTube channel that is very popular. It has thousands of viewers, and I have no doubt that if I promoted that fundraiser on that channel and said, hey, go to this and make a donation to the American Cancer Society, I would probably get more donations. But again, I try to keep my personal life and those pages completely separate. All right, I'm gonna take a break here and then we'll continue on. Give me a couple. Morning. All right, we're back at it. It didn't take long. Had a little drink, dropped a little seat. We're back on the pathway. So I reset my counter right before I started the video, and I've been 11 miles so far. Morning. I need 18.2 to finish up the event. So we'll get that done today. Faux show. I had probably 3 miles before I reset the counter, so I'm about 14 miles into the ride already. Because I don't start the video usually until I pick and choose where I start. Right? I don't start it the minute I pull out of the house, because I feel like sometimes people don't really care to watch that part of it. So I'm selective where I start the video, and then I've gotten even selective now about where I end the video. I usually try to end it by the Catholic Church, as to not ride up into my neighborhood and end it at my house. I already give you too much information about where I live. So. Morning, ladies. I'm just gonna pass you way over here on the left. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
So. Morning. I'll give you plenty of room, brother. Have a good day. so many people in here on a Saturday. I don't like riding through here on the weekends. Morning. So you get like this stuff, the 3 abreast runners, and I just rather not deal with it. I'd rather ride around my neighborhood, ride down Fort Morgan Road. Since it was the last day of me completing this challenge, and I haven't ridden in over a week, I wanted to come through the park rather than go down Fort Morgan Road. More scenery. Morning, guys. I'll get way over here and pass you way over here. Have a good one.
You too.
As a habit, I've gotten to where I don't ride through the state park on the weekends, just because it's so much of this stuff. Large groups of people running together, packs of cyclists and stuff. I like it during the week when it's just 1 or 2 people you come across. Morning. But now that I got the bike fixed and the challenge is over, I'm going to start going other places to ride as well. Good morning. I think the first venture is going to be over to Milton and ride the Blackwater Trail over there. Probably do that sometime this week. I had to order a riser for my bike rack because my car that I put my bike rack on, it sits so low to the ground. Morning. Good morning. How are you? Anyways, my car already is fairly low to the ground, and the way the hitch is on it, by the time you put, they only put a 1.5 inch drawbar on it because it's not made to tow, and it's really only for accessory stuff. But my bike rack comes with a 2 inch, so I have to put an adapter from 1.5 to 2 inch on there, and then put the bike rack on it. And with that, the way it sits off the back of the bike, wow, the flowers here smell amazing this morning. It hangs out the back, and with that's 2 joints, it kind of sags a little bit, and it's already low to the ground anyways. Good morning. And sitting that far off the back of the car, because it's a double bike rack, because I bought it so I could haul both bikes if I wanted to. So it sits so far and so low, I worry about going into a parking lot and it's sagging and dragging on the road. Morning, gonna pass you on your left. So I worry about that. So I bought a 4 inch riser. So the 1 inch to 2 inch or the 1.5 inch to 2 inch, steps up 4 inches. So I bought that, and then I bought some of those stabilizers so that they don't rattle. And I got those in, so I want to mount all that up and get the bike rack on the car. And then sometime this week, I'll get up at, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock, ride over to Milton and ride that trail. I think that'll be fun. Something different. And see how that goes. And then maybe one day next week also ride up the Eastern Shore and ride that area. There's a lot of places I've found in the state of Alabama that have some really good bike trails that I'd like to go ride. Some of them are a bit of a distance from me, so they would be like overnight trips or at minimum day trips. Leave early in the morning, ride up there, do the bike ride, and then come home. I'd hate to make it though a one-day thing. I'd like to make it a multi-day thing to where go up, do a ride, spend the day just milling around cities or something, and then come back home the next day after doing a ride that morning. We'll see what happens. I definitely want to get some different rides in. I think we've done this state park enough. As it cools down a little bit, I think I'll go ride some other areas also that are more wide open. It's nice to ride in here because you have tree cover. You get out in the open right here, and then you go back under a tree canopy, so you get a little bit of shade and a little bit of coolness, and then you're right back out into it later on, and it's, you get that nice little change of pace every so often. Well, how to go home today? Let's go this way. This is probably a mistake, but I'm going to go this way. I don't know. I don't know how many people are in the park. I feel like there's not that many people down here this week. I think we got like 2 more weeks before you hit the big Labor Day push. It's been pretty dead down here, which is crazy. When I was a kid, summer went all the way till September. And this town was busy all the way through September. With more and more schools going back early August, and then you've got like band camps that start before school starts, and football camp that starts, before the school goes back in. You have more and more families that have shorter vacation windows, and so the town just kind of slacks off around the 1st of August now, and tourism dies off until Labor Day weekend, and then Labor Day weekend you have one more big push, and then it's over for the most part. You have young families and their in-laws or extended family coming down for vacations, but it's not very crowded. Hello. And you don't get the snowbird push until after I don't know, October morning. It will slow quite down, which is fine for me because there's a restaurant I like to go to. But yeah, like all of these slots are empty. They're normally completely full. But hey, good morning. Yeah, there's a restaurant I like to go to for fish because they serve mullet twice a week, and I enjoy it. So I haven't been in a while for it. I've been craving it, and I'm thinking like I might be able to go this week and not have to deal with a 3-hour wait to get in. Since there's no crowd down here, definitely won't go for Labor Day weekend. But then after Labor Day weekend, man, I can go every week. Not that I would. I don't really go out to eat much at all. I can count on one hand the number of times I've been out to eat in the last year. One, because most restaurants don't fit into my diet plan. And two, I don't know. Most places don't cook food as good as I do. Take the sharp turn back. We'll ride one more set of bridges. And then we'll take Bear Creek. I don't know how we want to go. We'll take Bear Creek. Access back out to the old Tortoise and Gopher Trail, and then we'll Coyote Crossing, and we'll go out the back towards the Water District. It rained really hard last night, and everything's wet today. One more set of bridges. like I said, I don't mind the bridges. They're kind of cool. I just don't like the interactions that you have on it where, you know, you come up across other cycles on it and they're maybe not as willing to move further to their right as you would, and you feel like you're pinched up against the rails a little bit. All right. So we'll come here. We'll take a right. This will be the Bear Creek Trail, and we'll follow it out back to where we already have been and make our way out of the park. So we're at 18.4 miles at this point. If I factor in the distance that I rode just to get out here, that's according to my bike. If I pay the Strava tax, I'm at 17.6. So I don't like the Strava tax. I did a lot of looking into Strava, and I figure because of the way Strava calculates distance, you basically lose a lot of mileage with that. And so on average, I lose on a 20-mile ride 1.5 miles because of the way Strava does things. Because now if you ride a straight line, the loss isn't nearly as much. So like when I ride straight up the coast from Gulf Place all the way to Alabama Point, and I ride that distance, the numbers are pretty close because of the way Strava calculates the distance. Because it does it in segments and calculates the distance between the 2 points based on the time and speed and all that other stuff, right? Whereas my bike, good morning, calculates my mileage based on the sensor in the bike and the miles per hour or the revolutions of the wheel, and knows that, you know, you got a 26-inch wheel, and every time that wheel spins, it's so many miles, or it's so much distance, and so it knows, it goes exactly off of that. So it's going to be more accurate, especially when you're going in and out of turns. Like if you're on a trail that zigzags a lot and you're going back and forth, your distance calculated is going to be more accurate on it than on Strava, because Strava's going to take the direct path between 2 points and figure out the mileage based on that. And it's not going to match my bike, and I'm going to lose mileage on Strava because of that. So I figured it up. If I'm losing on a 20-mile ride roughly 1.5 miles, and I've done, let's say, 10 rides of 20 miles, I've lost close to 15 miles of distance overall. So, I mean, in reality, I was almost done with this ride before I even started today. But at this point, I'm over 18 miles, so even on Strava. So I will have completed the journey at this point. So yay me. Going off of Strava's figures, I have completed 300 miles in the month of August, and I still have 7 or 8 miles to go home. So I'll have a nice long ride. I can always tell when I'm about 17, 18 miles into my ride, my left knee starts to hurt. And it is complaining right now. Hey, you. I hadn't run into her in a long time. I think I'm going to stop at the bike hub for a quick little respite before I finish up this ride. All right, I will be back with you guys in just a few. time to head back home. It's interesting the way that they had that. That's like a bike path, walking path, I guess. Pedestrian bike multi-use. And they only have the sidewalk passings over there. But I think those are classified as sidewalks in the city, and you're not allowed to use sidewalks for cycling in the city. Now, somebody made a big deal, post, video yesterday on Facebook in the Gulf Shores section. Morning. They made a big, oh, this bridge is so wonderful. It's going to be this new biking bridge that's coming to Gulf Shores, and it's going to have a freight elevator in it so that you can put your bike in it and it'll take it up to the top, and then you ride across the bridge to the other side, take the elevator down, and blah, 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 right? And it's just going on gushing about the bridge. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it's awesome and everything, except for the fact that the city spent all this money on this bridge, and then they spent an additional, ridiculous amount of money to buy a new lighting package for it so that they can light it up and at night and make it look all colorful and everything, and they can change the colors for events and stuff. And you know how municipalities are. Those colorful lights are, that's a good use of hundreds of thousands of or millions of dollars. And if somebody gets excited about that kind of stuff, but there's again, these are considered sidewalks. Do not believe these are considered, in what they want to be a walking district, considered multi-use. Maybe they are and I'm wrong, but I don't see them thinking these brick pavers are multi-use. But even so, even if they are, the city hasn't spent a dime on safer travel through these areas. So you're building all this money to have a pedestrian bridge, but you've spent no money in the supporting infrastructure to be able to get to said bridge safely. There's no bike lanes on these streets. And until you do that, it's sort of a waste of money. And then they want to get rid of the boat launch here. This is the other thing that is ridiculous. You've got this boat launch here that the community has used for years, and they want to close it because that'll give them additional parking for the waterfront district that hasn't had a new business pop up in it in 15 years. 10 years. I'll say 10 years to be safe. Oh, how to go home. Let's go to the park. And then and allegedly, the property on both sides of that canal park is owned by a city councilman. Oh, no wonder we want to do whatever we can to help get that area brought up to snuff so that we can sell the city councilman's property. Now that part of it makes sense. Personally, I don't see where there's a problem with that canal being there, that canal part being there. It's not hurting anybody. It's not going to distract or detract from their walking district. The only reason they want to get rid of it is so they can have more parking spaces. It's not a nuisance. It's convenient for people who live actually in these neighborhoods on this side of the waterway. It's convenient for us to be able to put our boats in there for when we're going out on the water. We don't have to go all the way over to Orange Beach to put our boat in the water, or we don't have to get out on 59 and go over to County Road 6 to the new boat launch they built over on County Road 6, which is a bit out of the way from them. All right, well, I'm just gonna ease up through here and then probably just jump out on the road. I don't like riding on these. Again, I think the sidewalks are not considered multi-use in this area, so I'm gonna ride the road. Too many people walking for me to be out there messing around. As much hate is in the e-bike community these days, I prefer to not give people a reason to bitch and moan. Because even here, you just have people who have never been on an e-bike, don't know anything about it, they're terrible. I don't understand why a parent would buy one of these for their kids. This is just ludicrous. What are people thinking? They just should outlaw them all. They're too fast. Meanwhile, I'm getting blown by some kind of traditional road bike. It's okay for them to go 40 miles an hour because why? They're doing that under human power. They're still going fast. If I'm going 20 miles an hour and they're going 20 miles an hour and they're dumping their bike, they're getting just as injured as I'm going to. Morning. be another good ride. 20, 25, 26 miles, something like that. I'm at right around 24 on the bike. I mean, I get it. Kids are stupid, and kids are going to do stupid things with whatever you give them. We were stupid when we were kids. And we did just as much stupid stuff with BMX bikes. And bikes with banana seats on them as kids do today with their bikes. Because they're kids. And you can tell them not to do stuff and they're still going to do it. And you can write all the laws in the world for you know, saying kids can't do this and kids can't do that. And at the end of the day, unless you enforce the laws, they mean absolutely nothing. And the laws that are on the books right now, not a one of them gets enforced. I see kids every day out here riding e-bikes, no helmet on this bike path, riding class 3s that shouldn't be on here, e-motos. The laws that my state or that this city passed back in the spring are already completely out of date. Because the terminology of class 3 is a joke. Good morning. The whole 3-class system is a joke. And the whole argument over throttles is a joke. If you're going to say a bike is class 1 if all it has is pedal assist, well, what kind of pedal assist? Is it a torque sensor or is it a cadence sensor? Because if it's a cadence sensor, you might as well just call it a foot throttle, because that M2 of mine, it doesn't matter how fast you pedal, the motor's going wide open. Good morning. Doesn't matter what gear you're in, and it doesn't matter how fast you're pedaling. Once it senses the crank is moving, it turns the motor on, and the motor turns on full blast. So you might as well just call a bike with a cadence sensor on it a foot throttle operated bike, because it's no different than having a throttle on the handlebar. It's actually worse than having a throttle on the handlebar, because at least the throttle on the handlebar, I can adjust the amount of power coming out of the motor by how much throttle I give the bike. If I only give it a small amount of throttle, I only get a light amount of motor. So if I give it full throttle, I get all of it. Good morning. But on a cadence sensor bike, the moment you start pedaling, you get full throttle on that motor. So I don't even understand why there's a class 1 and a class 2, because a class 1 and a class 2 are the same damn thing, except for the fact that they got a throttle on the handlebars. And there's no difference in that handlebar throttle and a foot throttle. So just make it where any bike, e-bike, that is under a certain mile per hour is an e-bike. Anything else isn't an e-bike. It's that simple. If a bike is electric and it runs under 20 miles an hour, it's an e-bike. Anything else is something else. E-moto, or whatever, a moped, or an e-moto, or whatever you want to call it. But it ain't an e-bike. Just make that the standard. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not gonna take you all the way to the Catholic Church, because I'm gonna get sidetracked here in a minute. Go by and see my family. So I will say thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the ride, the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, maybe share the video with a friend, and hit that notification bell so the next time I post a video, you'll know about it. And until then, I do hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.